Pinup models can start as early as the age of 15.
Ooh.
That's listen, Japan, you gotta. I don't know. I didn't do any fact checking. That's just what I saw in this first article.
That's disgusting.
And it said the average age was 18. It's like at least the average age is 18 at least. It should be like 20 plus.
I mean, as bad as it sounds, I guess that does track because there were a couple people in the show where it's like, oh, you're a pinup model. And it's like, they're in high school.
There was 3. Across the game, we're back. That's Justus. I'm Matt. I almost called you Matt. Hey, we're back. It's our 4th week.
130. It's episode 130.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of what week of the actual season we're into on there. You said 130. I was like, oh my God, how much have I missed on there? Hey, we're back. We're watching the A-list yet again. So we got Oshi No Ko, Yamada-kun level 999, Demon Slayer, Heavenly Delusion, and then Justus is obviously watching Farming Simulator, which is Vinland Saga. Are they still on the farm before we get into any of that?
Yes.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Hey, we're going to be talking about the Demon Slayer first.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, stuff's getting pretty good in Demon Slayer on there.
I'm gonna be honest. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is a little like
Crappy
extra slow
season." Yeah.
Then there's a specific turning point in a scene where you're like, "Oh, okay, we're going there."
What scene? Are you talking about when he finds the pot when he's walking on the step?
The pot, yeah.
The guy's like, someone just left the pot landing right here. Yoink, gets sucked in.
Yeah, and then he gets spit out.
Did you
and
hear
you're
how
like,
guttural it was? It's like literally they're just like making sounds of bones breaking, getting sucked in. Then he gets spit. I'm like, nah, that dude should be dead. He's over there just like twitching. It's like, nah, that dude should be 100% dead.
Yeah. Once it reached that scene, I was like, oh, now we're kicking into things. But like, that was real fucked up.
Well, season 2 was what, 3 episodes in? They immediately got to it?
Mm-hmm.
Or 2? It was I think it was like 3 or 2 episodes ago. But besides that, they started the fight, and I like how you've seen how much Tanjiro has grown because immediately you can recognize what's going on. Like within one episode, I think it was episode 4, he realizes it's not cutting off the heads that's going to stop him. It's cutting the tongue.
Yeah.
Because he cuts the leg and another head pops up, and he realizes every time they go more and more and more, they decrease in power, and he chops that guy in half. And he's like, oh, after like 4 splits, that's it. It's like, no, you got to cut the tongue is what's really doing it in.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I see it right now.
Yeah. I would assume specifically the big problem is going to be how do you slice all of their tongues at once?
Why don't you have to do all at once? You just have to cut certain ones. So you don't have to kill all at once.
Well, at least the core 3 you would. Because I would assume it would
until they.
I would assume it would be like the twins, where you had to take both of them.
I don't think it'll be quite that extreme. I think it's just you got to cut the tongues, and that's it on there. Because each personality is like split off right now. So they have what, red, green, blue, yellow.
Yeah,
I think are the 4 colors. Because
like
yellow,
joy, sorrow.
Because yellow is like a sonic boom. Red is electricity.
Mm.
And then blue is like sadness, spear, whatever. And I don't remember what was the last one?
The green one has that big leaf.
Oh, he can like swat people.
Yeah.
Here's a fan, swat into the ground. Kind of shaped like a pot leaf.
Yeah, and the weird thing with those, specifically the leaf, is going to be that, like, anyone can use it.
Yeah, anybody can take his weapon and use it on there.
Yeah,
that's the big thing with it on there.
Why?
Listen, it's a weapon, man.
Yeah,
no, we forgot about the most important thing. Dude's got a gun.
Yeah.
That one random dude just pulls out a shotgun and is like, boom, off with the head. I'm like, you know what? It's about time people start using guns. And it loads like shells. I didn't do any research for it, so I don't know for sure, but he literally break action, slugs out, slugs in. I'm like, I am pretty sure that was not the tech in that day.
Yeah, probably not.
Slug loading shotguns like that, I don't know a whole lot, but I feel like that is definitely a way ahead of its time technology, especially when they're talking like, oh, this steel is from like the Edo period. It's the best quality steel and it's all rusty. 2 seconds later, yo, here's a double barrel shotgun shooting the guy's head off.
Shotguns have been around for a really long time. What do you want from
400 years? Here, you keep talking about the other stuff they have. I'm gonna do
Nezuko got stabbed through the neck. That was pretty harsh.
No, she not only got stabbed, they left it in there, and she's
Yes.
getting electrocuted at the same time. And of course, Tanjiro again shows how strong he's got. And they're like, in that fraction of the second, he not only like killed the dude, grabbed the leaf, and then used it at the same time.
Grabbed the leg to use it to stop like the electricity from like harming
I was
him.
getting confused. A whole bunch of stuff happened. Like, we went from one fight to then what Nezuko was technically fighting by herself, Tanjiro was fighting by himself, the Hirashi, the dude was fighting by himself, and Shaka dude was technically fighting with Nezuko, and he got stabbed. It was deadly. I don't know if this dude just has maybe a power that doesn't allow him to die easily, or maybe he's missing some organs. Because at one point he just has a tooth that he just takes out, and he's like, it'll grow back.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how that works unless he is really quick at healing. Maybe he has unnatural healing abilities.
I have no idea. Also, this week there's 2 examples of that. Like, it will grow back, like, tooth thing. We'll get it, talk about it again with the Heavenly Delusions.
The earliest known shaken is the Haley Shoddy Peaks, also called date backs to the 16th century in England, not like 1200 on there. So I'm just saying, man, they're pretty advanced. I know in the world of demons it doesn't really matter, but it's like, dude's got a shotgun, and it's like, we should just invest in shotguns. And we were right that they knew where the swordsmith village was.
No, it tracks. The Edo period was started in 1603.
Yeah, but they still had matchlocks.
I mean, it's whatever.
I don't know what period they said. It wasn't the Edo period, but I know it was whatever it was. I'd have to go back and watch it on there. Besides that, we find out what the dude was that the Hirashi, Tokito, I don't know, the Wind Hirashi.
Yeah.
He was talking to the kid, and we all thought it was like, hey, maybe it's like Tanjiro's dad or something. Nah, it just turns out it's a robot, and he just needed a key from him to turn it. And then this robot's like super good at like fighting.
Yes.
And the Hirashi beats it, no problem. He cuts off an arm and then says, I'm taking this sword with me rather than get an actual sword made. Which was even funnier because Tanjiro then has to fight the same robot with clubs. Well, he's fighting it with clubs, and it kicks his butt pretty bad on there. And then finally he beats it. And it's like, oh, Tanjiro, the kid, I don't know his name. It's not on there. Kid's like, just beat it. And Tanjiro midair.
No, that totally tracks.
Tanjiro.
I was looking up that.
Tanjiro midair does a spin, cuts its head so he doesn't get killed. And then it's like, oh, my sword broke. I'm like, God damn it, Tanjiro, breaking swords again. It's like, oh, but here's this rusty sword we were talking about in here.
So, I'm going to assume that's going to become his permanent sword.
I imagine that would be. Plus the sword, also his sword dude, buff. Yeah. Dude is ripped.
Yeah.
So,
he was training real hard.
But the whole thing, Tanjiro's like, we can't let these demons disturb the swordsmith guy because he needs to do it for 3-4 days. It's like, that's what you're concerned about? Not everybody else getting killed by fish-looking monster. Listen, I know people complain about the CG in it. It wasn't terrible. It just takes you out of the moment when there's like fish with a pot on top. It's like a koi goldfish running around with a pot on top of its head.
I think it takes you a little out of the moment because it versus everything else in Demon Slayer that's quick. It's like a floppy and like, you know,
no one
on
there,
screen.
They do make a point to say no one there really knows sword skills. They just make the swords on there. So I mean, when it gets to the point where everyone's just using kind of like spears, it's like, it's all right on there.
I do have an answer, by the way. The shotgun thing totally tracks.
Breech loading shell shotguns, or you're looking at matchlocks that just shove stuff in there?
Demon Slayer takes place in the Taisho period, which is from 1912 to 1926.
There is no way this is supposed to take place. I guess they did have trains. I forgot about that. 1912. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was still taking place in like the 1600s. For some reason, with trains.
Which would also track when they're like 300 years ago in the Edo period.
Wait, 1912?
Yeah.
Here, you keep talking. I'm going to look up something real quick.
That kid is...
Hey, by the way, Maxim machine gun, belt fed, 1884.
Okay, so
So give me a machine gun next season, man. I want to see like
no, this is
I want to see
this is 1912 Japan. They're not trading with a lot of people.
I want to see like the French be like, here's a Maxim machine gun, and Inosuke just over there, just like shooting demons down out of the sky.
God, that'd be ridiculous.
That's how Demon Slayer. I don't know how Demon Slayer ends. I didn't read it or look at it because I think it's officially ended, right? The
yes.
whole thing's out.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see Inosuke have like dual wielding shotgun, just like.
No, that'd be too much. But
no, it wouldn't.
That
It'd be perfect for that character on
that
there.
little kid is such an ornery shit during the training, where
Don't suck. You got hit. Don't say, little kid.
if you're not doing a good job, you're not getting fed.
Yeah.
Tanjiro
he hasn't
almost
eaten
died.
for 3 days.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you got one good hit in. I guess you can have a little bit of food. And Tanjiro immediately was like, food?
Yeah.
He was going to get imagine Demon Slayer. Tanjiro dies of starvation. That's how the series ends.
That'd be funny.
That dude had to have, whatever. You can go like weeks without eating, but now with some breathing techniques, maybe you can live forever on there.
I mean, 3 days of intense training without food, though. So, like the amount of calories that like you'd be burning.
Just use your breathing techniques. Second form, food breathing, and he just like absorbs calories through the air.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who doesn't eat a lot of calories? Ruby from Oshi No Ko.
Okay.
Hey. Actually, it's technically Kana because she gets offered rice. It's like, no, man, no, thanks. I'm cutting back on carbs. And I'm over here like, man, I just started making a whole bunch of rice. I really like rice. Hey, Oshi No Ko, by the way, we watched episodes 2, 3, 4. We forgot to save your Demon Slayer. We watched 2, 3, 4 as well.
Yeah.
The first 3 we're talking about all have 3 episodes, and everything after that's got 2 episodes on there. But besides that, Oshi No Ko,
So now that you have 3 more episodes past the big,
I still think it's good.
Mhm.
And obviously its rating has dropped. I think the 9 out of 10 kind of matches more than like 10 out of 10 perfect on there because there are flaws in the show. Big thing, I don't really like how much they're getting into the producer aspect of it because it's just giving me like stress dreams now of like, man, I used to do some of that stuff and
that's
it's real
on you,
stressful.
though. That's your problem.
Yeah, but it is cool that you get the aspect of the producer side, the actor side, and then kind of the original creator side. Because in these 3 episodes, who was it? Aqua and Kana both are working on the show.
Yes.
That's based off of manga. So hear me out.
Sweet Tooth is what it's called.
Sweet Tooth. So hear me out. This whole thing originally is a manga, turned into an anime, where then in the anime they're making a live action based off of a manga.
Yes.
We've come full circle, buddy.
And of course, this Oshi No Ko is made by the author of Kaguya-sama. In the first season of Kaguya, this is the manga that they were like gushing over.
Oh, really?
It's
I
the
didn't even
same
know.
one.
So it's the same one from. Oh,
So it's canon. Like,
is it a real?
all of this
is it a
takes
manga
place
in real life?
No.
Oh,
But all of this stuff takes place in the same world. Kaguya exists at the same time that this does.
so you're telling me in Kaguya there's isekai, or is it just happened to be? Hey, we just reused a book. It's not confirming. It's
To
like
him,
listen.
he's basically done a like wink, wink, like nod,
Dude,
like
saying it's in the same world is the same thing of like the set of Friends and like How I Met Your Mother. They just reuse props from one show to another. Doesn't mean it's in the same universe on there. Don't be planting this info.
The mangaka has drawn all of it out, wrote all of it out.
Oh yeah, now we're gonna.
It's up to him for it to be in the same world. And
Are we
so
gonna get a
far-
Shinkai thing where it's like, oh yeah, here we'll throw in the like.
I mean, when you
Shinkai's was
put
way
things
more
like
on the nose.
when you put something like Garden of Words from Shinkai, which is very kind of grounded in a weird way, next to Weathering with You in Your Name, I mean,
At least he didn't go way out of there with Suzume, and it's like, oh, look,
it
it's
could
all-
still be in the same world.
Oh, we never talked about Suzume. We'll do that another time. But back to the show.
Yeah.
So big things that happen. Well, I'm just gonna summarize big things so we can say what we like. Ruby tried to be a idol for a known group. Aqua is an asshole and called. He faked the whole thing. You would think you would know your brother's like.
Yeah,
He
Well,
fakes,
he's a good actor. What do
he
you
fakes
expect?
being the like producer for that idol group, calls her, says, "Oh, you didn't get it," and then he even this is what I like about it. It's kind of that whole Death Note thing of like, I went through, blocked the number. I blocked the producer from him. I already called Sing Chi. Like, he thought of everything through this whole thing. The only way, I thought when she was getting scouted, he was a producer from that company. He's like, oh, you said you didn't want it.
Yeah.
She gets scouted. And the thing I liked about that is, like, Aqua's still trying to be a very protective brother, doesn't want her to get scouted. And they don't really say it in the show, but I guess the safest way to look after her is Ruby joins Strawberry Productions.
Yeah.
Which is what her mother was in Saito. She's in charge of it. She split from her husband, right? Is the whole thing in this?
Yeah. She now runs the whole thing. Turned into like absolute boss woman.
She specifically is like, I don't want any idols. I don't want to deal with it. Ruby's like, I want to be an idol so bad. Like, how can I say no to this child's face? It's like, she's a real G. Didn't want to take care of kids. Ends up falling in love. And it's like, I take care of you like my own. It's like, oh, hits me right in the feels.
It's a good thing those random isekai children were able to convince her not to sell. Imagine if they were just regular children that couldn't speak. This whole thing would be even more of a mess.
I would probably still be alive. I mean, honestly, I would have been alive more than likely, and they wouldn't have been without a mother.
Probably.
Because now Aqua's, the only reason why he still wants to do acting is to get close to the people that I was close to and get DNA samples.
So he can figure out who daddy is.
He's crazy because he also is like, yeah, I spent 4 years and 45,510 attempts. I don't even have it written down. I just remember that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of attempts. I just keep trying passcode after passcode after passcode. It's like, dude, I feel like there was a way to get around this besides
he's a dedicated man to his craft. Also, at some point, like, you see them kind of entering the high school for their pre-exam stuff when trying to just enroll in the school. Of course, Ruby is going there for more of the art section.
It's a school that's mostly based around performance, and everyone there is a actor, idol,
model,
pinup model.
Yeah.
That was very specific. They said that multiple times in episode 4. You got a big bust. You must be a pinup model. How did you know? It's like,
and then Aqua is like, yeah, I just chose the general thing, and everyone's surprised because, of course, he's already done acting and stuff like that before.
Well, they even make a point that he beat Tokyo University or Tokyo High School.
No, he's a graduate of Tokyo University. The man has a doctorate. Like he was a doctor. He's very smart.
Well, no, I was trying to think in his world. I know he already graduated that, but I think in the world of like what he technically has as his child, didn't he apply for another one? Or
no, that was just like, in the previous, because at one point when they're doing the interview, he scored one of the highest that there is. And they're like, why do you want to just do the general stuff? And he's like, I like the vibe, essentially, is his response.
Oh, sorry. I was just looking up average, like, pinup model in Japan. This is a random article. I don't know if I like this answer they just gave. Pinup models can start as early as the age of 15. Ooh, that's listen, Japan, you gotta. I don't know. So I didn't do any fact checking. That's just what I saw in this first article.
That's disgusting.
And it said the average age was 18. It's like, at least the average age is 18 at least. It should be like 20 plus.
I mean, as bad as it sounds, I guess that does track because there were a couple people in the show where it's like, oh, you're a pinup model. And it's like, they're in high school.
There was 3.
Yeah.
There's the friend she made, which isn't on this list. I'll make a better list next time. Which is weird. They have someone else we haven't even met. She's like, I love the scene where like the girl's staring at Ruby and Ruby's just staring at her chest. Yeah, just staring at her chest. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry for staring at you, Ruby. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, she did it too. Double standard, having ass. I don't know. I really like these 3 episodes. I thought it was, there was a whole production. We won't go step by step. But you learn in these 3 episodes that Kana actually has really good emotions and her crying on command. I mean, it's her talent. Yeah. But you get that whole aspect of child actors growing up. You realize, well, you might have been good for that age, but now that you've grown up, there's people that are better than you, the same as you, and they'll do it however, they want.
And part of her ego ruined a little bit of like her career
it's very rare that I think that a child actor becomes like big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think of a few child actors. Like, I mean, technically Ben Affleck, but he was more of like a teenager, I think, when he started doing his stuff. But there's not a lot
of legitimate child actors.
Yeah.
Like,
Macaulay Culkin. Is that
he's one of them.
He hasn't really done anything like super big since. He's done a few things on there. There's the kid from Indiana Jones. I forget his actual name, but he did Indiana Jones. Did so many small roles for years, and now he
had a 25-year gap before like he landed in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, before he landed like a major role again, which it's a sad truth in the show.
I
brings it out.
I think the most successful child actor lately would be Shia. That would like Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, I was like trying to think of another like a female named Shia.
No,
I don't know who that is. Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. I think he's the most recent, like overly successful, and even then, his career right now is a real.
I mean, he's just gotten kind of crazy. But besides that, Oshi No Ko. Sorry.
Real quick, sorry. Aqua is. He always doubts himself. He's a very talented and smart individual. It's kind of creepy. He really knows how to.
Well, they point out in the show that like he admits he's not as good as acting as everybody else, but he'll use all of his tools that no one else would think of. Because it's that whole thing of child actor, did nothing, became basically producer's assistant to maybe be a director, kind of.
Yeah.
Because his idea was, he points out, the only reason why he wanted to be a famous actor was to get close to the people his mom was close to, but now he can do it from the background of the producer standpoint. But it's cool when you go from a producer aspect to a actor's aspect. I've never done acting. Obviously, this face is not getting any acting jobs. But when there's stuff you think about as a producer or a background guy, like, oh, if we did this, it makes it easier post-production. And Aqua points out, of like, walking through these puddles, it adds eeriness to it, adds everything to it. Then he says something to that boy actor that forces a boy actor to give real emotions, and then it made it so much better.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those scenarios of, because he is as smart as like he is.
He's an adult on the inside, basically.
Yeah, I forget the official terminology, but the smarter you are, you think you're dumber because, like, instead of
you overthink it.
No, because there's a legitimate like term for it. Essentially, you, instead of not knowing enough, you're acutely aware of your lack of knowledge, even though you have a bunch in a specific subject. There's a terminology for it.
Yeah, I mean, don't know the name of it. But besides, I think Oshi No Ko, I enjoy it. I think, the people that gave it, I'm going to argue the rating a little bit more again. I'm not getting too into it on here. But I think Oshi No Ko, where it sits at like a 9, it's still one of the best shows probably out there from a story standpoint, a like animation standpoint, very, very good. And then just a voice acting standpoint, I think it's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But now in episode 4, they introduced like 6 characters, one that looks like a snake. She's got like snake eyes on her. She's got green eyes and they're all like thin like this. It's like, I don't know if I like this on here, but to be fair, Aqua's got a star in his eye, so I guess it's not out of this world there.
Dunning-Kruger effect is what it's called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, that thing. I knew that right off the top of my head. Hey, you know what happened in this show? You never see any farmers. But there's a lot of farmers in Vinland Saga, aren't there? Hey, speaking of farmers, hey, Vinland Saga, hey. Okay, before you say anything, what episodes did we watch in Vinland Saga? Like, you know the episode numbers?
14, 15, and 16.
Okay, so before you say anything else, we've had about 6 episodes of just farm, right? Or 12?
Yeah, roughly.
So let me take a guess. You've watched 3 episodes this week, right? We're off the farm after 2 more episodes. The 3rd episode, we finally get off. Are we still on the farm after 3 more episodes?
I have no idea.
How do you have Oh, is it just like we're watching someone else now?
Well, I haven't read ahead or anything like that. Like,
no, I'm saying
these 3 episodes are still on the farm. They're still on the farm, and only one thing happened in that 3 episodes.
So before you say what happened before this episode? You said what the guy found. What's his name on the farm?
Garter is.
He found out that what's his name's on the farm.
Well, so
or he found out he has him as a slave.
So there's Leif Erikson who found out
That's
that
what I was thinking of.
Thorfinn is on there, and the King Kettle has tried to kill that main dude that's gonna now help Leif Erikson get to there, or Leif Erikson is helping escape.
Because Leif Erikson was originally from Thorfinn's village, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's like an uncle.
I thought
essentially.
Thorkill had showed up in
Thorgil.
Thorgil. He showed up, right, the last time? And
Yeah,
he
well,
found out- I
because
thought
the
he
dad is his dad is the one that owns Thorfinn as a slave.
So then he found out that Thorfinn's on the farm?
Well, Thorgil, he's just kind of tagging along. Kettle is the slave owner, and then we haven't touched any of that. We've this entire time has been the subplot where Aronade, which is Kettle's mistress per se, her husband, who was a slave on a different farm, murders the master, escapes, and then comes to try to like find her. And we
You gotta stop saying
you gotta stop pointing it out. So let's see. The only thing that's really happened in this 3 episodes is he was I think the guy's name's like Gardel.
Girder?
Gardar. It's a weird...
Yo, it's real original, man. Gardar.
Of course, they pronounce it all super weird in the show as well.
Or however they are. It's a
They-
Gardar.
But they recapture him. Snake does, which is the main guard of
Salt?
Kettle's land. Take him back. Aronade walks up and helps free him. The guy bites a dude's throat and rips out the jugular. Gets stabbed, and then they kind of have to hide him for a day. And Thorfinn and...
Dig a hole, throw him in a hole, call it good.
Well, Thorfinn and Einar agree to help, and then
Wait, they
Kettle...
agreed to help hide the body?
Yeah, to try to get Garter out of the land. Like, help Aronade.
So they're still going to work on the land helping another slave try and escape.
Well, it's not... That specific slave is someone else's, not from technically
Oh,
part
so he's
of their
not from
land.
the same plantation.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Well, I was just trying to get some
Yeah.
background of like
Yeah.
who he actually is from and what he's doing. So
Yeah.
are they just going to escape at the same time? Or you said they're almost done paying off their debt, right? So there's no point in them. How have they said how close? Did they give you like a money amount? Or is it a time amount?
The time amount is when Kettle returns, they will be free. Kettle is
Like
on his way back
From the capital, isn't he?
Yeah, with Leif Erikson in tow. But so is the king of Denmark's men that are going to try to kill them and take the land.
So they're all coming together or they're all rushing back too?
They're rushing back.
They
there.
said who's closer? Or do you just assume that they're both on the...
They haven't even touched that part in these 3 episodes
They're
at all.
just like,
I
yo,
have no
fuck.
idea where they are right now.
I'm being real. I don't know how that show is like almost a 9. It just seems...
It
For the way you describe it, it just sounds like we're on a farm.
There's a lot about it. The big thing is kind of some of the background stuff that's happening. Yes, you see some of the politics with Thorfinn right now with this season, because in season 1 you've seen him basically be a
Badass. That kills a
child
bunch of people.
slave, that's been forced to kill people.
All I know is in season 1 he walks out and he's just chopping people up.
But it's all due to the trauma and anger. Like, his entire goal was to kill Askeladd. So there's none of that in here. Askeladd is already dead, and Thorfinn didn't do it. So
I don't know.
now
I mean, I'm
he's
sure
just
the
a
story-
tormented kind of soul and person. And even over half of the last episode that I watched was Garter and Aronade on a wagon leaving, but he's already been stabbed through the chest. So it's
Probably dead.
he's dying, and he's
It's ye
just
old
like,
medicine.
no, because in his case, like, he knows he's dying, she knows he's dying.
This actually takes place in 1912.
They're not actually gonna make it off the farm. She can just kind of comfort him and lie, essentially. And
No, what you do is you do what every movie does. You put him up against a rock, turn towards the sunset, and you just stab him in the back. Finish him off.
But
You would let me die in the back of a wagon lying to me? Nah, finish me
well,
off.
he was the one like holding the reins. He's just bleeding through. It's fine.
Wait, he's holding the reins and...
Dying? Yeah.
So he's not even laying down in the carriage.
No, he's sitting up.
Just let me die, man.
He's a real man.
That seems like a lot of work just to die in like 2 seconds there.
But
Like-
in his case, a lot of it has come down to, and most of that episode focuses around like the decisions that you think are right that turn out to be the worst. In his case, he chose to go fight to hopefully save his area. Instead, he, should have just stayed at home to
You're right, I
protect
do know.
his family and not worry about the iron that was actually 10 miles away that didn't affect their town directly.
You know what he should
They
have done?
both ended up slaves. Their child was murdered.
You know what's weird about this show? There's a lot of people with blonde hair in it. Speaking of people with blonde hair,
By the way, at some point, I might have to talk to you about your shitty transitions.
I enjoy my transitions on there. There's 2 people that got blonde hair. Hey, we're talking about Yamada-kun level 999. I gotta say something. You said I was wrong. You said it was dumb. It's obviously the other girl. Well, joke's on you. It wasn't the other girl. Was it Runa? That wasn't the girl from the guild. It was the guy that's literally being nice and helpful with the same personality on there versus Runa is just dressed like that. I just gotta say I was right. Just gotta say I was right, buddy. You gotta admit.
No.
I have video proof. I'll put it right here, which I definitely won't. I might actually.
No, you won't.
No, but
You're too lazy to.
Yeah. I had it on.
The
group meets up. That's what happened last time. Everyone was meeting up for this. I gotta say, there's one thing I loved about it, and they hit it right on the head. They met up for this game cafe, which is a limited time thing, which they had in Tokyo. And they got some of the crappiest looking stuff from it. And I was like, that's exactly what the cafe was like in Japan as well. They hit it right on the head. It's cool. You can meet up with your friends online. Man, when you really think about it, it's not that great of an experience for how much money you pay. I don't know how much they paid for it, but I mean,
it looked a whole lot better than what we did.
Yeah. Here's your blue hot water. I was like, there was literally a thing. I don't know if I talked about it. It literally was like a mana coffee or whatever, right? And it had this little thing in there, it didn't look edible, and I wasn't sure if it was edible. I talked to Chris and improviser, because I think Chris got it too, and he was like, I don't know if this is edible, and I was poking it, and it's like, it doesn't seem edible. I don't want you to try, so nibble off a bit of it. I'm like, okay, it seems edible. Nibble a little bit more. I'm like, I think it's edible, or it's just dissolved enough in this coffee. And then I look out of the corner of my eye, and there's a lady that orders it over there, and she just eats the whole thing. I'm like, okay, I think it's edible now, boys. Eat it, drink it. I'm like, okay, it's edible, I think. I don't think Chris ever had it.
If it's already completely eaten, it's edible at that point.
Uranium's edible, but I don't think I should be eating it. I just had to point that out because I didn't see anything like that in it. But I like the show. I think it's fun. I think it's quirky. I think the whole girls getting along thing is cool.
We do find out, similar to the conversation of I have to be right. How do you pronounce his name?
I was right.
Ita. He based his model off of his sister.
He did base it off his sister, but they said earlier in that episode before they met up, it's careful, some of the boys and some of the girls in game are boys in real life. And then they had a 5-minute segment talking about how guys act like girls online, and there's a certain term from it. People have been using it forever, and it's I have never heard of this term. Maybe in Japan it's a thing, but it was a whole explanation.
I don't remember the term. I have heard of it.
It's Noza Kuma or something like that. It was something like.
I think it starts with an E, but yeah,
it was weird, man. It was That's enough. I will say my new favorite character in the show.
Is it the old man?
The old man is my new favorite character, man. He was like, everyone's like, oh,
Kamata.
Yeah, apparently Runa kind of set up our main girl with another online friend.
Friend. You mean absolute batshit fucking stalker.
He has like no social skills. We'll get into it. Sets him up, right? And then everyone warns like, oh, she could be in danger with this stalker dude. She's not responding to her phone. And then obviously Kamata, Kamoto, whatever his name is, the old dude, literally shows up in his van, his strawberry van, like he runs like a strawberry business. And in my head, I was like, how do you... Oh, no, it's Japan. Strawberries are expensive. He makes fucking bank in this. He's a strawberry farmer in the game and a strawberry farmer in real life.
He loves his strawberries.
I love this, man. He dedicates his life to strawberries. He's like, she's in trouble. Everyone get in. And just speeds away, drifts around corners, like literally just drifting a cargo van filled with people and strawberries to go save her.
Well, at one point, they're like, you missed our turn.
Yeah, you're going the wrong one.
Yeah.
Was it Akito? Literally was like, you missed our turn. Then like 2 minutes later, he's like, yeah, you're going further away. And he's just speeding. He's just so worried. Shows up like, how do we handle this? And our strawberry boy just goes up there. It's like, you leave her alone. We're here now. And then they see that she's hurt. And then you find out stalker dude.
He very much a stalker dude. There was also a post-credit scene.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're in the bathroom. Let's see you're a female in the bathroom. What's the one thing you don't want to happen to you, Justus?
The date to be on the other side of the door going, hey, you all right?
It wasn't even a date. It was supposed to be a study session. Yeah. And then Runa lied about Akane being... She lied about Akane being Ita to this dude. And he's like, I didn't expect you to actually be a woman, blah, 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 blah. And like, how do I describe him? He like, they gave, I don't even know how to. If he was a if he was a pretty boy, everyone would be like, oh, he just cares about her. But because he's a creepy looking dude in glasses, it's like.
Businessman that has zero social awareness. Like,
zero. Because he shows up at the bathroom and it's like, from her perspective, he's like pounding.
He reaches under the stall door
to hand her medicine.
Doesn't matter.
It was weird because, like, you get both perspectives, and both perspectives told the story horribly wrong. I wish we would got a third perspective of what actually happened.
No.
Because she gets scared that he reaches his hand under the bathroom. She bashes her knee on the toilet on there. And then he helps her, I think is the whole thing, like bandage up her leg or whatnot.
Yeah,
Listen, in America, we're men, and we don't afford medical supplies. We just take the pain. Right, Justice?
No.
But I mean, Then she tries to chase after Runa, which is my second favorite scene of these 3 episodes. Knocks her knee a little bit and just basically passes out right there.
God, he's such a stalker. I can't get over the fact just how creepy that is.
I mean, I will admit it was very creepy that he would, first of all, follow her into the woman's restroom. Second of all, just have medicine. First of all, who's just going to take drugs from a random dude? Here's some painkillers under the stall. Take one. It's like, it's dirty. And I mean, actually, Japanese bathrooms are pretty clean, but it's like, still, it's like dirty. You're handing a woman you just like met in person like 10 seconds ago, but she never got the words out saying she wasn't Ita, which looks like Runa in game. It's a whole confusing thing. So he must think they have a much better connection than she actually does. I don't know how else to describe it besides that's what kind of happened.
It's creepy. There is also the subplot of Akane and Yamada possibly starting to like each other a lot.
Possibly.
All right, well, she's definitely on the
she wants that dick game.
And he's getting on the like, all right, well, the Snapchat filters on her while you're looking at her now, so...
Well, to be fair, they also point out, like, you're terrible. That the whole point is you're terrible with women. You wouldn't even know if she's hitting on you. And then it's like, oh. They're doing the cheesy love stuff of, you would never know. She's actually hitting on you. Cute girly music on there. I don't know what the ending theme is. Like, yeah. Oh, shit, that's the wrong. That's Konosuba. I love Konosuba so much. It's such a great series. What? Oh, now you're going to judge me again. That's 3 weeks in a row I've been judged. I got clips. I'll get an Aqua one to even it out. That was in one of the episodes. I don't know what it was. There was literally a sheesh moment. I can't remember what it
I'm
was.
not sure.
Literally, it was like a background character. It was like sheesh. I don't know which series it was, but
It would either be Oshi No Ko or this.
yeah, I think Oshi No Ko would probably fit that. Or what else would it fit though?
Definitely not Heavenly Delusions.
Oh, speaking of Heavenly Delusions, Justice. Oh, look at that segue, buddy.
I don't want to kill you.
I watched these episodes with Calvin because he was in the room because I'd made dinner.
Mm.
The best part was the fish lands in the boxes and getting soaked up, and I'm like, how is it getting soaked up? Calvin's like, yo, I bet there's weed in those boxes. And then it's weed in the box. He's like, I knew it. It's too dry. And he was like, your shit is skank because it smells like fish.
That's fucked up.
You got some skank weed from a dead fish.
This show confuses me so goddamn much. I have no idea what's happening.
That's the best part about it.
It's like the first couple of episodes, we would occasionally move back to the kids in the compound.
It's an institute.
These 2 episodes, there was a lot of back and forth of like what's going on with our main 2 characters, and then what's going on in this compound, and the stuff that's going on in the compound is weird.
Did they have? You know what the
cancer-looking spotty kids, girls kissing, security systems hiding what's actually happening.
The teachers are judging.
The teachers are being judgmental.
We didn't teach them this. It's like
2 of them really want to fuck.
People are horny these episodes, man.
Yeah.
It is a horn dog episode. And we got to see what babies look like in the institute.
Which are basically the monsters. Like,
imagine if Target had a baby with like an alien.
I'm assuming they're the pre-monsters that are being sent out into the world.
Well, no, okay. So my thought is, when they talk about, remember the episodes we talked about? Babies don't have faces. You find out what they look like in the institute.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if everyone in the institute, they all seem to have special powers, right? So Cuckoo's kind of like a frog. Kona's really good at drawing because he draws what the monsters look like.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if he somehow designs them in some way, because you always see his drawing. Then we saw the man-eaters, I think, shortly afterwards. So I don't know what everybody else's ability is, but it seems like everyone in the Institute has some certain hyper-human ability. And I think the babies, this is my prediction, the babies are actually these humans that are raised in the Institute. But if the babies go bad, they then make man-eaters. So they can go one of 2 ways. So you can either be a monster man-eater with powers, or they become an actual human with powers. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's only real
we
prediction.
got a hell of a cliffhanger because one of the kids dies, and then they cremate him, and there's like just an egg.
Yeah, man-eater. I wonder if when the kids die, it becomes a man-eater or something. But they said this is only the second death in the Institute. The first girl, how could we predict she killed herself? Well, did you notice she was depressed?
Well, they also point out that they were fairly certain she was sick as well. Like, she had similar spots.
Well, now Tokyo,
mm-hmm.
which she is throwing up, and she's worried she's sick.
Yes. Also,
she was assaulted.
Yes.
Cue special victims unit. Dun, dun.
At first I thought her and then the main boy, like
Kona.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Maru?
Yeah.
And Tokyo are the same person?
I thought they were either the same person or related, because there was this weird like. Well, Tokyo was more.
Well, they have a similar face structure,
mm-hmm.
eye structure. Like their faces look very similar.
Yeah, and it wasn't until these 2 episodes that the gender was truly hammered in, that was a female with the like kissing and like
Kiriko was a woman body with a man brain. Maybe we got something similar.
So yeah, it's one of those like, I don't know if both of these are taking place at the exact same time. It's very strange.
Well, they've left it up to mystery if it is or isn't.
Yeah.
Also, I just noticed something on my anime list I got to point out. The 2 girls kissing, they actually have a name in it. Nanaki and Iwa, they just took the picture of when they were kissing and just cropped it.
Fair.
I mean, fair.
Huh.
No,
Who are those two girls? The two girls that are always kissing. Can't you see? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, literally, they just keep, they have no talking lines. They just, you're like, oh, they're kissing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Tokyo, she was sick. Then they're doing the dancing thing, and then the adults approach her.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if the kid said,
well, that was because the one kid was dying.
yeah. But I wonder if she had enough contact. It was transmitted, or it was through the kiss, because she did get, they show it like she had cut away before she got kissed, but then she was wiping her mouth away. So I wonder if she did get kissed and that's how it got transferred. Maybe she has the disease and it's kind of like an STD, and it's basically herpes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the kid had. He had severe herpes.
Yeah. At one point, going back to our main two, Maru was hiding in an apartment next door looking at some nudie mags.
My man, he knows what it's about.
Yeah.
I feel like those magazines are bringing the most money.
Kiriko, I feel like they is probably the best. He,
them.
them is probably the character. The immediately freaks out. So you can tell that there's kind of a bonding happening between.
She was afraid she had lost him.
Mm.
So I wonder if he's maybe falling for him.
But I'm gonna be straight up front. This is not how boners work. Cause Maru was looking at nudie mags. Of course, opens the door and is like, I'm right here. Everything's fine. Gets caught with the nudie mag. And then fucking absolutely doxes himself where he was like, I was halfway through. I mean, I wasn't halfway through anything. And then ends up hugging Kiriko. And she's like, I feel something hard. And it's like, Dad, look, you mean to tell me this man's still been stiff the entire time? You're freaking out, so he's worried. That's not how boners.
Maybe
happen.
He's got stamina, man.
You would go, oh, something else is happening right now. And it's like that's just how that works. And unless the contact made him again,
I mean, maybe he was looking at a nudie magazine of someone that looked like her. Then he saw her and he's like, hey, let's get it on, baby.
I don't care what that mind is like. I'm just here for your body.
Oh, speaking of people and their bodies, Shiro was like, oh, I swear she sent me a nude. I can't remember it. I wish I would have saved it. Then he pins, not pins, but Himi.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking to her like, I just want to do things to you, blah, 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 like hold you tight, blah, and lick you. And I was like, hold up. And she's over there like,
you want to eat me?
You want to eat me? And I'm over here like, I think that is what he's saying.
I mean, yeah. Well, yes, but technically no.
You want to get some takeout?
Yeah, that's where it was. Tokyo was listening, and in the background, and it's like, all of these children are very horny, and why can that one run up walls?
But also, you can't see Tokyo on cameras.
Yeah.
So I think that's her ability. That's like I said. I think everyone's got an ability somehow. I don't know. Listen, all the show so far summarized. Horny kids travel a post-apocalyptic world to find other horny kids potentially.
It's very confusing. Like I'm still watching. I'm still seeing what's going on. And
I like the mystery of the show. It's just like
this is 12 episodes, right? Like total
13 episodes. 13. So we're about not even halfway through yet.
They really better like start moving things at least a little more inward, or otherwise I feel like unless they plan on doing a season 2,
I'm enjoying the show a lot right now. It's actually ranked pretty high. 8.08. It's ranked sub 500.
I don't think it's bad. I just think it's very confusing, and unless some stuff starts kind of making more sense, or because we're 5 episodes total.
Maybe the show's just meant for more educated people like myself on there. You know, in
5 episodes, the core thing that has happened is
the weeds destroyed.
Man-eaters have been exist and have been killing people. Post-apocalyptic. horny, like
CDs are very valuable
Yeah.
in this show too.
super horny kids locked in like a compound essentially,
Also,
and then a man in a woman's body.
we don't know if this still affects the whole world, right? We
Yeah.
still only know about Japan.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if this is a global thing or it's just a
Yeah.
Japan. Because they mention halfway through the show or towards the end of episode 4 we watched, or whatever it was, or 5. Sorry, episode 5, because we watched 3 episodes the first week, 2 episodes this week. They mention they go back to, I think it's Robert, whatever the old guy's name is. There is a government agency that is trying to fix things, and they have a license to kill. They're allowed to kill whoever. So I wonder if that'll come into play. I wonder if that is the institute.
Supposedly.
Yeah. So I
That's
wonder
all rumor.
I wonder if that's who the doctor works for. They're allowed to grab people, make man-eaters, try and keep people away from this institute. I wonder if they're trying to make a breed of like hyperhumans, which is the whole thing.
I have no clue, but right now it's very confusing, and I hope some stuff starts to like be putting together,
Meshes together. Actually makes sense.
Because you're 5 episodes in, you can't spend the entire time with it, without anything starting to link a little bit together.
Well,
Otherwise, it's gonna feel super rushed and like, haha.
well, I know they have 2 leads for potential heavens, and I wonder if one is where they like make the man-eaters or something, and one is where the actual institute is. I mean, the institute has to run on power of some sort.
Yeah, because even within the last episode, the big thing was like a dude who wanted to be escorted reveals that if you get part of a man-eater, if you take it to this particular doctor, you can become immortal, and that's like another whole new kind of like
aspect to it. And it's got to be the same doctor that did the whole brain transfusion.
Yeah. So there's a lot of being added, not a lot really being explained.
Till next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
I hope you did.
Wow.
Bye.
Rude.
Oh, we are doing a new segment. Keep an eye out for that.